Hey man, how the mother are ya? Sorry, it's the law. I'm legally obligated to get that joke out the way first. Today we're talking about one of the most famous, or infamous, depending on how old you are, shows in modern media today. Hazbin Hotel, created from the wonderful mind of Victor Oladipo. She's a polarizing figure for most grown-ass men in their 20s, but a savior to many awkward, introverted teenagers who are also probably secretly furries. But despite the public's opinions about her, she's probably one of the best creator success stories we have on the platform. And I think she should be a big inspiration for other smaller creators in her field. okay, but enough positivity. I mean, come on, whose channel did you click on? And what's this show even about anyways? Well, hey, it's actually pretty simple. The daughter of the demon king of hell, Lucifer, is actually this caring sweetheart of a girl who wants nothing more than to stop the yearly extermination of the sinners and her people in hell from the merciless exorcist angels in heaven. And her idea to fight this massacre is to open up a hotel for wayward sinners, to help rehabilitate any misguided sinners, so instead of getting brutally murdered by angels, they can turn into a good guy, and in turn be let into heaven. Because, you know, most people in hell are just misguided and not pure psychopaths. But hey, talk about an interesting premise. You know the ones, like angels bad and demons good. But surprisingly enough, I actually like how Hazbin Hotel toys with the idea of corrupt angels and demons being redeemable. And you know what? I think I'm forgetting a big part of the show. Like a real important part.
Today is gonna be a fucking happy day.
Oh yeah, they like singing. Just as if this show couldn't get any more odd, it's also a musical. For some reason that surprised me, even though I think they were singing in the pilot episode. And if they did one thing right in the show, man, it is the songs. Like, ooh, okay, I see you, Victor Wembanyama, you were in the studio cooking. But to be fair, all of the songs kinda had to be good, because it is like 50% of the show. And if the song sucked, the dialogue was definitely not gonna save them either. Because I'll be honest, this dialogue is what a 13-year-old thinks sounds cool, but 13-year-olds also think slurs and racism sound cool. But enough foreplay. The best way to tackle this show is to talk about it as a season. 1, because there's only 8 episodes, and 2, because this show tends to tackle a lot of things at once in a single episode, and it could kind of be its Achilles heel sometimes. And I hope you're ready for me to preface a lot of statements with blank, and then they started singing. Cause I swear, half the time, that shit just be happening. And despite all of the very harsh criticisms this show could get, I want to give it a fair shot. Cause hey, we rarely get YouTubers successful enough to get a full-length show greenlit by Amazon Prime. Cause internet people's opinions don't really matter to me, cause my opinion's always correct. Alright. See you all in hell. So Hazbin Hotel starts off with a tale. The tale of heaven and the very misunderstood angel Lucifer. This is a tale of how heaven, hell, and the earth was created. And it's kind of following the story of the Old Testament and other various religions. But in this story, Adam is a big old dickhead and wants to dominate his female counterpart because he's a stinky old man. But his female companion in this story is actually the soon-to-be wife of the demon Lucifer, Lilith. And this is actually how the story goes in Jewish mythology, with Lilith being the actual first woman to be created from dust with Adam, and being replaced with Eve, cause she, unlike Eve, was defiant and fell in love with Lucifer, and was cast out of heaven with him after they gave Eve the quote-unquote magic of free will in the form of the apple of knowledge, which in turn created evil in humanity, and Lucifer was forced to be trapped in hell forever, only being able to see the bad that came from humanity and never the good. But Lilith never gave up and became the voice of hell as their numbers grew. And mean old heaven didn't like that, so every year they send down the heartless and dastardly, stupid exorcist angels to cut hell's numbers down in fear of a rebellion.
Riddle me this.
But Lilith still held out hope and passed her dreams down to her firstborn and only daughter, Verbalase's girlfriend, the demon princess of hell, Charlie Morningstar, accompanied by her actual girlfriend, Vaggie, at their Hazbin Hotel with hopes to rehabilitate any sinners desperate for redemption. Only problem is, you're in fucking hell. And why would you choose salvation over cooler things like manslaughter, insurance fraud, and marijuana? And the people Charlie's around aren't exactly the most helpful either. Like for starters, the character every edgelord 12-year-old literally fantasizes about being, but unfortunately, reality, Alastor, the radio demon. And yes, I said radio demon, because whenever I think demonic, I think radios. Next up is the very famous, or infamous, once again, depending on where you've seen this character, Angel Dust. Hey, look, man, hey, I'm not judging, okay? You guys can make your own choices that'll ultimately affect your dignity. And lastly, my favorite character in this show, no, not because he's a depressed bartender, but because Keith David is literally one of my favorite voice actors of all time. I mean, he was the voice of Spawn, he was in Hercules. Oh yeah, I mean, you can't forget the Princess and the Frog. Psych! It's cause he was in Mass Effect, the best game of all time. Oh yeah, and this little demon thing, Nifty. I think she was born from Alastor or something. I don't know, I don't really pay attention to the lore. She just worries me sometimes.
I like being forced.
So, yeah, a bartender, an adult star, and a deviant ROC. Yep, I definitely saw this one in one of my fever dreams. But Charlie gets a call from the big boss, asking her to take his place for a meeting with the leaders of heaven. Vaggie finds that kinda weird since the extermination literally just happened, but Charlie sees this as an opportunity to convince heaven of her plans, and she's so happy, and then she starts singing. Yeah, I promise you, each time, I'm just gonna jump into it to show you how out of the blue that shit is sometimes. So this song is obviously titled A Happy Day in Hell, if you couldn't tell by the obviously very happy day in hell everyone is having. But the actual song's not bad. It's just Charlie expressing how she finally has a chance to make some change down here. And I like how most of Charlie's songs are reminiscent of the songs you'd hear in old Disney Channel movies. It really fits her character. And I mean, I don't fancy myself an Anthony Fantano or anything, but if I had to score it, I'd probably give it a strong 5 to light 6. It's a pretty good first song that sets a pretty good tone for the show to start off with. But compared to the other songs in the show, this doesn't even crack the top 10 for me. Like, you wouldn't catch me with this blasting full volume in my headphones, and if you do, please smack the shit out of me, because that's definitely a skinwalker in my body. And hey, you know what? Why don't we use this rating system for every song? Thanks, Anthony Fantano. I like your glasses, man. So after our happy day in hell, Charlie finally makes it to Heaven headquarters, cause that's just here for some reason, where she meets with one of Heaven's representatives, Adam, the original dick, as he likes to call himself. I mean, he really likes the word dick.
Well, Adam, sir. Mr. Adam, sir.
Call me Dickmaster.
Adam.
Okay, that's probably the only funny joke he has in this show. And yeah, I'll be honest, it feels like no one else wrote this character but Vivziepop. It's like every aspect of her character writing that everyone on the internet jokes about is packed tightly into this one character, which makes him very insufferable, but I think that's what they were going for, so good job. Oh yeah, and also his dominatrix sidekick, Luke? Flute. Her name's Flute. Both are here, but not really, to listen to whatever Charlie has to say about her plan to rehabilitate sinners. Only problem is, Adam does not care at all, and that is his whole personality. Cause in their eyes, sinners in hell earned eternal damnation, so it sucks to be them. But Charlie says the sinners in hell are just people who made mistakes and are still human souls, just like the ones up in heaven. Cause yeah, Hitler was definitely just a guy who made a mistake. But their rebuttal is that human souls in heaven are perfect, so they're not like the ones in hell, and angels don't make mistakes. So, do you see the point they're trying to make here, or should they make it just a little more painfully obvious? And then they start singing. But hey, I'm not gonna lie, they kinda cooked with this one, bro. And these songs are pretty much the only time I like Adam at all. The song is titled Hell is Forever, and like most of the song titles, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're talking about how Charlie's just a stupid girl. Because why would they ever allow sinners to climb the heavenly ladder when they deserve and earned eternal damnation? And that hell is forever, dummy. And it's supposed to suck a lot. But overall, this was a catchy tune. And I'd give it a light 8 to a strong 7. Huge step up from the first song. Oh yeah, and because of this meeting, they've decided to move their yearly extermination up to 6 months instead of a year because they feel like it. Haha, whoops.
So you go and open your mind and just let it all hang out. Repulsed by your brain, make retreat to refrain, let it be and live with the doubt.
Alright, so while Charlie is freaking out about everybody's impending doom, this episode introduces us to 3 characters I wish played a way more prevalent role as antagonists in this show. A group of all-powerful overlords called the V's. Get it? Because this guy has a TV for a head, but not them. Their first name just starts with a V. So the 3 V's are overlords who sit at the very top of their professions. Firstly, the leader of the V's, Vox, who controls all of the television broadcasts down there and literally almost all of the media. Valentino, a crazy-ass moth demon who pretty much runs the whole adult entertainment industry. And Velvet, a fashion icon and a social media influencer. Wait. That's it? I don't think I like what they're insinuating here. Oh yeah, Vox can also brainwash people and uses it to make people buy into his Vox Tech angelic security to help protect people from the oncoming genocide. And no, he didn't make that up 5 seconds ago. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, and him and Valentino also be fucking or something. Don't ask me how that works. And Valentino's real pissy cause Angel Dust walked out on him for Lucifer's daughter. I mean, he's still under contract, and all he really did was move, but he's still mad about it. And is it just me, or does Valentino's accent have, like, an off and on switch? I swear that shit just be phasing in and out, and I still can't get a read on this man's ethnicity. But Vox has to calm him down from going over there and shooting the hotel up, because, once again, Lucifer's daughter, king of hell. But Valentino also tells him about another resident living at that hotel. A resident that's currently beating the shit out of Dr. Eggman if he was a cobra. Serpentious. Ah, I just got that. But we get to see Vox's calm, controlled demeanor very quickly snap at the first mention of Alastor. All he heard was the word radio and it was raps. And what's their history together? I don't know, but they're definitely about to tell you because they start singing. So the song Stayed Gone is probably one of the most popular songs from the show. And count yourself lucky if you weren't bombarded with TikToks of this all the time, but the song is actually pretty great. I think it's executed perfectly from the sound, the lyrics, and especially the mood it sets for the rivalry between Vox and Alastor. Like, it's actually commendable how well they set up the beef between these two in like 5 seconds. All it took was a catchy song and some well-placed cuss words, and now it's like, yeah, I'm interested. So other than being a radio, Vox hates Alastor because he turned down an offer to join the V's and add his radio show to Vox's multimedia conglomerate. The only part I didn't really like about the song was how the talking parts sometimes mess with the flow a little bit, especially towards the end. Speaking of the ending, it's an amazing climax to the song with Alastor giving his own rendition to Vox's part of the song. Only this time, he turns into an edgy Poppy's Playtime monster. Just because though, no real other reason. Well, song's pretty great, light 8 to strong 7. But back with our has-been crew, guess who's back? But not here to blow up shit this time, but to join the Hazbin Hotel. And Charlie is so happy the guy who was trying to kill them earlier had a big change of heart in the last 6 hours, and allows him to stay at the hotel despite the protest of literally everyone else in the hotel. But she has to, because she's a good person, and everything seems to work out for her anyway, so who cares? And Angel is the most mad about this because they're giving more attention to Pentious, despite them both being actual residents, because he's actually trying to make an effort to improve, and Angel's not. Like, what the fuck do they expect, bro? Why would they commend you for doing literally nothing at all? But instead of this making Angel Dust try harder, it just makes him suspicious of Pentious instead, and actually catches this dude setting up a camera so Vox can spy on the hotel. It's a good lesson we learned here, guys. So now he caught and tries to get assistance from Vox, but Vox is like, it ain't even been a day, bro, and you already been caught, and then hits him with that low tier god. So mans knows he's cooked and lays down and accepts his impending doom. But then they start singing. It starts with Sorry. It's probably the sorriest song they have on the soundtrack. It's not the worst thing I've ever listened to, but if you have this on your playlist right now, I am begging you, please, please, please tap into some Uzi, some DC or Cardi, something. And do I have to explain what this song is about? Do I? Charlie's cosplaying as a Disney princess in this song. That's about it. Light 4 to strong 3.
Stop, cussing go hard in a minute. Malcolm at the Mars and he start paying dues. I got niggas in the back with a sauce and a tennis. I ain't talking about the battery, I charge for the pins only.
So we back in black, and Sir Pentious can finally be his true self around everyone, which means ridiculous levels of tomfoolery. But Vaggie's all like, "No, Sir Pentious, you can't bring your weapons of mass destruction in the hotel. It's too dangerous." Like, man, you hear this bitch? He just don't want to get caught lacking by the ops. So Charlie and Vaggie decide this is a perfect opportunity for trust exercises. And that works out,
I'm ready to punish some bad boys.
very weirdly. But who cares? The actual important part of this episode lies with Alastor and his task to get rid of Sir Pentious's egg boys so they don't cause any more trouble in the hotel. But he doesn't, because, like, why would he care? Come on, let's do some critical thinking, Vaggie. And ends up talking to this lanky, tall trenchcoat guy who's built like a Slim Jim. Like, what the fuck are the body proportions in this show? This is getting out of hand. But turns out, this guy is actually an overlord called Zestial. And all the overlords are gathered here today for a cute little meeting to discuss, once again, their impending dooms. Yeah, and they don't really tell us who most of the overlords are, but like, what is she the overlord of? Furaffinity.com? This bitch gotta be on the D-line, man. What the fuck? And the demon leading this meeting is Carmilla Carmine. And she's the overlord of Packin' Mad Fucking Heat. She pretty much runs the entire arms race in hell as a whole. And speaking of arms, this bitch hands are massive. Imagine getting smacked by them shits. Nah, if that bitch just flicks you, that's automatic CTE. But boom! Door kicks open and Pippi Longstockings throws a severed head on the table. An angel severed head. Which surprises everybody, because everyone in hell was under the assumption angels couldn't be killed. But there lies a dead-ass angel right in front of them. Pretty interesting plot twist. Wonder how they'll react to this discovery. And then they start singing. So the song Respectless is pretty much Velvet being a gold medal instigator in song form, calling all the overlords pussy for not wanting to take advantage of this pretty much trump card they have against the extermination. If angels can be killed, that means that the demons can fight back. But the overlords are a little hesitant to jump on the whole revolution against heaven bandwagon, and that's why she's so respectless. And Velvet also calls out how suspicious Carmine was acting when she brought out the angel's head. Almost like she might know something. Overall, this song low-key smacks. Light 8 to strong 7, and those accusations forces Carmilla to end the meeting early.
What the hell? We literally just got here.
Oh, this bitch even sound like a linebacker. So now Carmilla looking like Drake in her feelings and shit, cause Velvet aired her out in front of all her friends. And then they start singing. But hey, this one wasn't that out of nowhere, so it's whatever. So this song is titled Whatever It Takes, and is a power ballad about how it was actually Carmine who killed that angel, but only because it was attacking her daughters. And if everyone in hell found this out, everyone would rise to war, and who knows who would get caught in the crossfire. Oh yeah, and Vaggie low-key just inserts herself into this song and just starts singing about Charlie. Like, wait, bitch, who invited you? But nah, it was actually just because of the whole trust exercise B plot that I have not been focusing on because I don't care. But she's just talking about how Charlie found her when she was just a stranger in a new place. And that's not a hint at anything at all, forget you heard anything. But Daphne Rubin Vega and Stephanie Beatrice have actual voices given from God. They can sing so good. I give this song a strong 6, light 7. It's pretty good, but the vocals carry because the lyrics leave a little to be desired. But hey, you know what this motherfucker remind me of, low-key? Look! Oh yeah, before before the episode starts, forgot to mention, one of the egg boys actually followed Alastor up there to the conversation. Eavesdropped on Carmilla's conversation, and now Alastor knows that Carmilla was actually one of the ones who killed the angels. Not important. Now look, I don't say this lightly when I say that episode 4, Masquerade, is hands down the best episode in Hazbin Hotel. Just the way the story culminates from the beginning to end in a satisfying way while leaving you wanting more is something I cannot say the previous episodes hit like this. But let's get into it. Fair warning, this episode delves into some heavy topics, so you could click off or skip ahead if you don't want to hear about any of these things. But I'll do my best not to stay on those topics for very long. So, this is our first angel dust centered episode, and it starts off just like you'd expect any episode of his to start off like. He brought his award-winning sex tape to show and tell, to the utter disdain of everyone. But hey, I brought the same thing to my show and tell, and they had the same reaction. Don't even worry about it. But Angel and Husk get into a fight because he's insulting Angel's job, saying it's fake, and how he can see right through Angel's fake, horny-ass facade. That's right, my boy Husk is actually important in this episode, but Angel has to leave before he risks upsetting his whiny boss Valentino. And Charlie's all sad cause Angel has to go do the icky stuff. But Vaggie's like, bitch, you're the princess of hell. If you don't go in there and flop your cock on the table. So Charlie does go up there, cock flopping and all. But she's not the only one. So yeah, she walks in on a scene that I'm not showing, not because I'm not allowed to, but only because I don't want to. And Charlie gets to meet the famous Valentino, then proceeds to literally set fire to his entire place of work. But I don't even know if I could blame her for that. Like, what the fuck is that wire management, bro? This pisses off Valentino very much and leads to a real heavy scene you could skip to this time if you don't want to see it. But honestly, as dark as this scene is, it's actually the scene that sold me on watching the show. It was really well built up to, with Valentino getting visibly more and more angry with Charlie's shenanigans, and finally explodes and takes his anger out on Angel in the dressing room. It's a damn sad scene with an amazing performance by the actors, and just the way how Valentino doesn't listen to any reason and only wants to inflict pain on Angel is pretty indicative to real life abusers and how unhinged and inhumane they are behind closed doors, and how inescapable these situations can feel. It's just a heavy ass scene that I think the show deserves its credit for, no matter how good or bad you think the show is. This scene also leads us into a song which is definitely the most well written and executed song on the soundtrack. Poison is an upbeat pop song with lyrics that are the exact opposite of that. It gives us insight to the relationship between Angel and Valentino, which shows us how he took advantage of a young Angel Dust and cast him into this depraved lifestyle. And Angel feels like he has no one else to blame but himself for being put in this situation. And now he's so used to Val's abuse, he thinks he's addicted to it. Like a poison he knows is gonna kill him, but he keeps taking it anyways because he has no choice. It's a beautiful song that humanizes Angel Dust in the most tragic way possible, and is one of the best on the soundtrack. Light 9 to strong 8. So after the day's events, Angel gets back to the hotel and is understandably very exhausted and pissy, and takes it out on Husk for no real reason, while Husk is just trying to tell him his problems won't be fixed by getting wasted. Then Angel reverts back to his defense mechanism of being a horny bastard, but Husk really doesn't like that. And Angel starts crashing out and storms out of the hotel. And now Husk is forced by Vaggie and Charlie to go and find Angel to make sure he's safe, despite Husk's avid protests. And Angel's kicking it with some real no-life gangsters, till Husk spots one of them trying to roofie his drink. And Husk can't let that slide, so he slides on them. And can we just talk about how fucking strong this man is? But this leads to another argument between them, because Angel says he doesn't need anyone to save him. And he even knew that guy spiked his drink, but he didn't care. Husk obviously finds that concerning and asks why he's allowing himself to self-destruct like that. And Angel says because if he allows himself to become utterly broken and useless, then maybe he won't be Valentino's favorite toy anymore. And maybe he'll let him go. Husk tries to empathize with Angel and drops a huge bombshell on us, revealing that he actually used to be an overlord, one who deals in gambling, and how he lost his power, and says he knows how it feels to regret the choices made and knowing you can never take them back, alluding to a deal he made with Alastor to keep his power. It's a nice scene between them, and I think it was nice to finally get some backstory to Husk's character. And then he starts singing. This is the best song in the show, I don't care. And not just because of my goat Keith David's heavenly voice, but just because this song is literally great in every way. The song Loser Baby is really just a song about two big losers, talking about how miserable they are and how they're both at rock bottom, but they realize they've got company. And maybe, just maybe in this fucked up world, that is literally hell, mind you, maybe, despite all of their traumas and even more about to head their way, maybe they don't have to go through it alone. On top of the message of the song, it just sounds amazing in general, and has its own sound that sets it apart from most songs on the soundtrack. Only problem is this song isn't longer and gets cut off by the Demon Mafia or something. Who are they? But this song as a whole makes you invested into Husk and Angel's friendship, and just helps cement this episode as the greatest one.
Once we go, bring your roll. I'll have the drink, psychedelics, and the metronome. We can all sing loud as the world explodes.
So this episode starts off with Charlie tweaking off that good, cause there's approximately fuck all time left before the angels come and kill everybody. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that plot point, lol. And Vaggie suggests that she call a little somebody we've yet to meet but heard so much about. Someone who could get her an actual meeting with the top brass of heaven, the ultimate overlord, and the big boss of hell himself, Lucifer. I expected someone a little more towering? This guy's just a twink. So this is the fabled Lucifer, and Charlie invites him over to the hotel despite them not talking to each other for 5 months, or just much in general, cause her mom Lilith never really let her see him very much when she was a child, which led to them kinda just growing apart and not interacting later down the line. Well, I'm sure they're gonna explain to us why that is. Also, real quick, can I just say that Lucifer's voice actor, Jeremy Jordan, is the best part about this character? Like, seriously, you're great, bro. I want to see you in other stuff. So now he's at the hotel and shit, shooting the shit with the Hazbin gang, and he likes literally everyone else except Alastor.
Who is this? Who is this man? Are you the bellhop?
But the hotel starts falling apart before their eyes, and it's obvious that they could really use his help. And then he starts singing. Hell's Greatest Dad might be Hazbin Hotel's most covered song, but yeah, sometimes I think maybe it, shouldn't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with covering a song, but this particular one just doesn't work without Jeremy Jordan's unique vocals. And it's very hard to one-up his natural charisma, and I commend Amir Talai for putting on a debatably just as good verse. But it's basically a song about who out of the two would be more helpful running the hotel. Bad Sonic OC or your deadbeat dad? This song is just another showcase of the talented songwriting staff. Catchy beats, catchy lyrics, generational beef. What more could you want from this song? I mean, other than Mimsy's part completely removed. Oh yeah, new character by the way, Mimsy. Who is this bitch? Yeah, I guess they just threw her in there for a haha random comic relief moment, and everyone universally hated this, and I'm with the majority on this one.
Fat bitches need to shut up, bro.
Light 8 to strong 7. Amazing song, just never let Mimsy cook again. And speaking of this Oompa Loompa, I ask once again, what is her purpose here? Okay, so she comes into the hotel and is revealed to be an old-time friend of Alastor. And she sits down and tells him the story of how Alastor came to be, saying he just spawned in hell one day and murdered a bunch of powerful overlords, and then broadcast their screams over radio, and that's how he became the radio demon. And I say again, this literally just sounds like an edgy deviant art OC. And then after that, Mimsy gets kicked out because she brought loan sharks to their doorstep, and we never see her again. Like, what? Was she really just there to do that one thing? You telling me she ruined a whole song just to be a plot device? Husk even confronts Alastor about Mimsy being here because he knows she's on some other shit. But Alastor doesn't like being talked to any kind of way by people he considers to be in control of. By the way, makes him just as bad and abusive as Valentino, just in case any of you are calling him your tall dom demon daddy or something. Oh yeah, and there was another song thrown in there because Charlie and Lucifer made up and shit. and he apologized for being a deadbeat. And Charlie says it's okay cause they love each other more than anything. It's a good song about how Lucifer's given up on reasoning with heaven and how now the only thing he cares about is protecting Charlie from the same fate. It's a beautiful ballad between them, but for time reasons, I'll just give you my score here. Light 7, strong 8. But hey, one thing that's throwing me off is how Lucifer is telling Charlie about how absolutely horrible all of these sinners are down here, and how it makes no sense to put yourself on the line for them. But Charlie keeps saying, "These are my people. I have to try, Dad." Charlie, it's really commendable how you think everyone deserves a second chance down here, but once again, Hitler is definitely down there.
You're not welcome in heaven. In the state of dark, pretend where you're all rolling black and floating on.
So this episode is important because it's the heaven episode. We knew we were gonna see it at some point. I just hope they don't have a white angel twink manning the pearly gates. Oh, they got me again. So after leaving the Hazbin gang with Angel Dust's longtime friend Cherry Bomb for a night on the town, they make their way up to heaven to have that meeting Lucifer set up. And she's greeted by the high seraphim of heaven and the other seraphim, Charlie. Emily. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me. Emily is literally just Charlie, but if she grew up in the suburbs. And then they start singing. And this song is about heaven and how great it is and how it's so much better than hell. Welcome to Heaven is this happy ass song telling you all the great things about heaven and how everyone is so polite and all obnoxious goody two-shoes. This song's only purpose is to make heaven look, like I said, obnoxious. But other than that, the song's okay. The beat isn't really creative or really trying to be. Lyrics are okay, but it's the same thing really. This song's honestly one of the biggest skips on here. Light 4, strong 3. But look who spots them! And spotting their ops in their hood is obviously enough for them to want to be confrontational, but Big OG Seraphim stops them from spinning the block and have a very revealing conversation. Like how no one else in hell but them and their armies know about the extermination, and the only reason Sarah allowed it was because she thought she was preventing trouble coming to her doorstep when it's really done the opposite. So, excuse my ignorance, but aren't angels supposed to be really wise or something? Like, especially seraphims? But I guess the point is to kind of humanize them and give them very human flaws to make them actually characters. But doesn't in turn doing that make them humans who just act like angels and not actually angels? So basically, shouldn't heaven be on fire right now? They also pull up to the ops' place of residence and ask Vaggie why she quote-unquote left the band and started kicking it with Lucifer's princess. Vaggie tries to deny knowing what they're talking about, but Adam says he could never forget one of his baddest frontline soldiers. Yep, Vaggie was down in hell slicing bitches up. Till she grew a conscience or something, cause what kind of angel has one of those? So now they're in heaven court, cause that's a thing, and Charlie's here to convince them that sinners can be redeemed by her Hazbin Hotel. And she'll prove it right now by showing her patron making great progress, Angel Dust, at a sex club. But before that, I just want to say my favorite part of this episode was Sir Pentious hitting on Cherry Bomb only because of this joke right here.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Why? Didn't you say we're arch rivals?
Because I'm buying everyone a drink. Maybe you'd want to, do a sex with me.
I'm sorry, why would we have sex?
Because I'm having sex with everyone here!
And basically, Angel's B-plot in this episode is seeing if he'll make the right decisions to show he's improved his character. And sure, he might pop a few perks and get shit-faced, but he's actually being a responsible person by looking out for Nifty this whole night, even if it gets him into trouble. And that trouble even entails Valentino appearing at the nightclub to prey on more women for his empire. But Angel draws the line at Nifty when Valentino's creepy ass tries to recruit her too. And he doesn't care if this pisses him off, as long as he's keeping Nifty away from him. And that's it pretty much. Angel passed every requirement on the list to get into heaven that Adam made up just now. So why isn't he in heaven? They don't know? What do you mean they don't know? Isn't there usually a Bible for this sort of stuff? And then they start singing. You Didn't Know is its own song, while also being a kind of reprise of Hell is Forever, which I think is pretty cool. The song in general is pretty great to listen to, and is hard-hitting considering how integral it is to the plot. Saying things like, if hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie. Calling out the hypocrisy of the so-called rules that the beings in heaven claim to follow. And Sarah's response to this is, there's so many things you don't know. So, is it so many things I don't know, or so many things you're not gonna tell me until the second season? But whatever, Adam gets mad because Charlie's logic is starting to make sense, and is all like, haha, your girlfriend killed thousands of your people. Well, you know, if it makes you feel better, Charlie, I rate this song a light 8 to a strong 7. So despite being exposed as heavenly frauds, they're all like, yeah, appeal rejected. See you nerds in 1 month for your deaths. And Charlie's taking this just as well as you think she would. I mean, between everyone's impending doom and her girlfriend being a mass murderer of her people, I don't really blame her for curling up into a ball and crying. But I mean, you did find her behind a dumpster. Enter Alastor, who comes in there doing his usual creepy and backhanded shit talking. But Charlie actually tells him to buzz off in this scene, which just confirms the fact she knew bro was always on this sneaky shit. But she vents to him anyways and tells him how bad she screwed up, and how Adam now has an indestructible exorcist army pointed right at her doorstep. But Alastor knows something. Something that a couple episodes ago we found out too. Angels are very much killable. And if she makes a deal with him, not for her soul, but for one tiny favor at any time of his choosing, he'll tell her everything she needs to know to defend herself against the exorcist army. Yep, that's right. We're going for the epic final battle episode. And this isn't even the first time I talked about a show that did that. But let's also hope it doesn't end up anything like the show I talked about that did that. And the first stop on the trip to save hell? A little place called Cannibal Town. And I'm gonna take a guess and say cannibals live here? So yeah, if you liked eating people, you end up here. Charming. And Alastor takes Charlie to meet the overlord of this place, Rosie. And I would say I like her fit, but that hat is probably made of something I don't want to know about. She got that shit on though. But they're here to convince Rosie and the cannibals to aid in the battle ahead. And you won't believe how she ends up convincing them. But before that, we cut to Vaggie banging down the door of Carmilla motherfucking Carmine, asking her to aid in the battle ahead, but it's not as easy to convince her because she wanted nothing to do with this in the first place. Also, can I just say these two look very similar to each other? And then she gets kicked in the face, and then she starts singing. I know, weird combination. Out for Love is a song with sounds inspired from Latino music, because they're both, Latina. Okay, look, this can't just be some coincidence, I don't care. But during this song, she's telling Vaggie how to fight the angels, and how to come out on top like she did. But the only reason she prevailed wasn't because she was out for vengeance, but because she was out for love. Pretty easy song to understand. Also love the fight choreography. This show does that surprisingly well. And almost 16 songs in, this show keeps every song so different and unique from each other while still making them a great listen. And I'll just give this one a strong 7. It's a hype-ass song, I just wish it was longer. And how about a double whammy? Bam! Another song, Ready for This, is a song about Charlie struggling to accept her role as princess, but knows she has to and she will if they have any chance of defeating heaven, while simultaneously rallying the cannibals to be her sword and shield, as long as they get their share of angel wings, that is. It's a pretty nice song that sets up this grand event that's about to take place, and takes us to the end of the episode where everyone is set and in place, and all of the Hazbin crew is ready to fight for their hotel. You know what? Maybe the true has-beens were the hotels we made along the way. So, episode 8. Before we start episode 8, just want to say thank you for watching this far. I hope you've been enjoying it so far, and please do leave a like and comment because I do want to do more videos like this in the future. I just said doo-doo. So episode 8, the finale of Hazbin Hotel, starts off with everybody's favorite flat screen, Vox, watching everybody train on his various television screens and doing the one thing he's been doing for this whole season, which is absolutely nothing. Man, I hope they're just saving the V's for the second season because they have crazy potential. But literally all Vox has done is sit on his ass for the whole show and say witty lines behind his computer screen like a Redditor. So everyone's getting ready the last night before the final stand, and I can't lie, after all the events and story arcs these characters have gone through, it's actually really satisfying seeing them interact with each other one last time before it all comes to a close. I like Alastor and Nifty's interaction, because even though he literally spawned her, this is kind of the only time they interact. Husk and Angel Dust's interaction is one I loved seeing because of that amazing 4th episode, but I'm sure the fan base wanted it for other reasons. And Penchus and Cherry Bomb, because I don't know, I'm rooting for him. And even a beautiful reprisal of More Than Anything, this time as a romantic ballad between Charlie and Vaggie, comforting each other and saying no matter what happens tomorrow, they'll still love and cherish each other more than anything. Suck on that, Verbalase. Now who's ready for a final showdown? I know this 60 frames per second dickhead is... hold on, is that Velvet? Alright, epic battle time. Everybody fucking shit up. Angel and Cherry out here carrying. Penchus finally gets to bring out the op stopper. Husk is literally Gambit. Even my girl Nifty getting her licks in. But the battle no one expected, but everybody needed. Adam versus Alastor.
Who the fuck are you?
Alastor, pleasure to be meeting you. Quite a pleasure. I'm about to end your fucking life.
Okay, look. This is probably the only time that I can 100% say that the curse word actually ruined the dialogue here. Like, okay, you can't lie. That shit kind of made it silly. Like, how can I take that seriously when that just sounds like what a tween would say after I scammed him for his $20 Robux gift card? But Adam not worried about him, and they get to scrapping. And their interaction is very telling of the difference of skill level between these two. Alastor runs circles around him because he fights sloppy, without control or finesse, but also keeping it realistic by not hyping Alastor up too much because he is dealing with a pretty powerful Angel. And now with Alastor out the way, Adam has free reign to fuck around with everyone. And it looks like there's no way out of this one. But Sir Penchus has a secret. A secret passed down by his ancestors and master before him. A secret technique only used in situations as dire as this one. Channeling the energy of every ignorant ass nigga before him, he summons Big Rocka, the Op Stopper!
Light goes on. Yes, I am hopeful for today.
So now Charlie has an anime protagonist power surge and flies up there to scrap with them like she finna do some shit, and then immediately gets rocked and saved by Daddy. Lucifer fucks him, then they have a cool father-daughter epic battle moment, and actually just start jumping, bro. They show him mercy, and that angers him, cause he's Adam, and all of mankind came from his ball sack. Blah blah blah, get sad, bitch. So hell is finally saved. The Angels retreat and Extermination Day is canceled once and for all. God damn, Velvet! You better make a nigga wear a white shirt and red cap in a second, bro. And everyone pours one out for their boy Sir Penchus, and I'm gonna miss this. And then they start singing. The song Finale is everything you could want from the final song in this weirdly wholesome in its own way TV show. They remember the times and battles they've overcome and help rebuild the hotel after the fight. This song speaks of old wounds and new beginnings, and how despite everything, Charlie can't quit her dream now because the show must go on. I mean, duh, how else are we gonna milk this franchise? The V's even join in, verbally dancing on that man Alastor's proverbial grave. Haha, awesome! Now actually go do something, guys. But come on, y'all. We know Alastor is not dead. Who else would closeted furries have to put as their profile picture? I guess today turned out to be a real Hazbin Hotel. the ignorance lives on. Oh yeah, and Flute tells on Charlie to her mommy Lilith, but who cares? My nigga back, boy. So, Hazbin Hotel. I've pretty much said everything I have to say about it already. Look, the show is great when you don't have some bitch in your ear telling you it's bad all the time. I think we should give a Vivienne, Mario, whatever, and her team props for creating the show the way they wanted to, despite all these opinions, and still making it an enjoyable watch, and sue me, one of the top shows to come out this year. Look, as much as I love to be a hater, I'll never lie to you on this channel. This show fucks very hard. The music, choreography, characters, humor sometimes, an overarching storyline and plot that's only gonna get bigger and better from here. I'm sorry, I just can't hop on this hate train for the show just cause the characters like to say whittle bad words all the time. But it doesn't matter, because this show will always have supporters by the handful. Sorry, wait. Hatful? Hatful of dreams?